Hello, my name is Ben. Recently, I rode Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland December 2024. I thought this was going to be a Mardi Gras party ride with crowds of animals and human animatronics like Splash Mountain. Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride feels rushed and incomplete with empty spaces, as many of my favorite characters from The Princess and the Frog 2009 film, like Dr. Facilier, are missing. I had to film the ride with two action figures, Lawrence and Dr. Facilier Funko Pop, because they were sadly left out of the ride. Today, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the Disneyland ride formerly known as Splash Mountain in my photo. I went on Splash Mountain in 2023. It was the best Disneyland log flume ride. I was sad Splash Mountain was closing. I was excited for the Princess and the Frog ride based on the 2009 film, but the official ride let me down big time. Before I get into Tiana's Disney ride, I want to mention what 1927 history would have been like in real life. 1927 was a time of jazz music, racism, circuses, magic shows, theater, Jim Crow laws, Al Capone mafia leader, Calvin Coolidge USA president, alcohol bans, bikes, records, farms, film projectors, blimps, airplanes, books, Henry Ford Model T wheel cars, oppression against women, African and Native Americans, mafia gangsters, Ku Klux Klan, Babe Ruth. When I think of Mardi Gras, I think of how crowded it is. For example, I think of real life silent film footage of the parade, which was very crowded and featured many parade floats, people dressed up like Native Americans or African Bushman tribe, three African boys dancing, which would have been interesting to watch. This was before television, computers, internet, and to note, Miles T. Farnsworth invented the first working television set, which wouldn't take off until the 1950s. Also, when I think of 1927, I think of famous people like Thomas Edison, Heber J. Grant, Utah church prophet, Henry Ford, Charlie Chaplin, Babe Ruth, popular films like Metropolis, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Felix the Cat, Wings, London After Midnight, The Great Gatsby, 1926 lost film, The Jazz Singer, 1927, the first talking film to end the silent film era. Also, there were books that were very popular, including The Great Gatsby, Winnie the Pooh, The Velveteen Rabbit, The Story of Dr. Dolittle, Whitefoot the Wood Mouse, Raggedy Ann and Andy, Bambi 1923, which Walt Disney later made in 1942. The song When the Saints Go Marching In was popular. Also, Charles Lindbergh made the first flight across the Atlantic Ocean in the 1927 flood, which claimed 500 lives. Also, to note that there were video games set in 1920s like Larabo, The Colonel's Bequest, Larabo 2, The Dagger of Ammon Ra by Sierra Company, and films like Some Like It Hot, Robin and the Seven Hoods, Singing in the Rain, Thoroughly Modern Millie, which took place in the roaring 1920s, even before I've seen The Princess and the Frog 2009 film. Anyways, back to Tiana's Bayou Adventure Ride. Here's the concept art for The Princess and the Frog. As you can see, it shows Tiana in her blue dress and shows a willow tree on top, which would have been a ride I would have been excited for. Sadly, they never put in the willow tree, and neither did they show Princess Tiana in her iconic blue dress, which was very disappointing. Now, on to the ride, and the top 10 characters missing from the ride, which I feel needs to be included in the ride. Number 10, Dancing Pink Spoonbill Birds and Mama Odie singing Dig a Little Deeper. Where's the Dancing Pink Spoonbill Birds? I remember the Princess and the Frog 2009 film. One of the most memorable iconic scenes is the Spoonbill Birds dancing around Mama Odie singing Dig a Little Deeper. When I went on the ride, Mama Odie never sang in the ride. At the drop off, it only shows Mama Odie animatronic waving you down at the big drop off, and at the finale party waving you goodbye, and no spoonbill birds around her. Also, why is the Bayou bird on the Bayou side and not in the ride? This is a big letdown. Also, look at the Bayou bird pictures. It features many birds that live in the swamps of Louisiana. Look at Tiana's Bayou Adventure poster, which featured a spoonbill bird to the left middle corner. I'm disappointed Disney Imagineers left out the spoonbill birds. I thought that was going to be included in the ride. Also, look at Tiana's Bayou Adventure Little Golden Book, which features a bluebird which is not in the ride. This ride isn't the same without spoonbill birds. I'm very disappointed and let down. Add spoonbill birds in right away. Number 9. Dancing Lady Butterflies Around Naveen Frog and the song When We're Human. Where's the dancing lady butterflies? I also remember in the movie there were sexy lady butterflies in high heels in their dresses dancing with Naveen the frog, and the song When We're Human is playing. They're not even featured in the Mama Odie shrieking gas frog section of the ride. I'm very disappointed the lady butterflies, even the ones in this Louisiana Bayou insect picture, isn't in the ride. This ride isn't the same without butterflies, including the Disney insect pictures like in the old Silly Symphony bug cartoons. Number 8. Charlotte's two pets, Stella the dog and Marcel the cat. Where's Charlotte's pet dog, Stella, and her cat, Marcel? In the movie, Charlotte has two pets, Stella and Marcel. They were fun, cute pet characters. However, on the ride, they are absent. I'm disappointed Disney Imagineers did not include Charlotte's cat and dog on the ride. Most people are cat and dog lovers. I'm sad they were left out of the ride. Add them in the ride now. Number 7. Showboat and more of Naveen's story. While the original Splash Mountain had the showboat, Tiana's By Adventure did away with it. And now there's no showboat to look at. Instead, it shows Tiana's restaurant palace with her party guests, and Naveen is hardly shown. The Little Golden Book showed a showboat in the picture, and Prince Naveen gets more story time arguing with Lewis, which is not in the ride. I'm very sad the Disney Imagineers removed our favorite showboat. Put in a miniature showboat against the backdrop scenery of New Orleans and add more Naveen animatronics now. Number 6. Buford, Tiana's former boss. In The Princess and the Frog 2009 film, you remember when Tiana worked at Duke's Cafe for her former boss named Buford and then quit her job and built her own restaurant. I want to see how he's doing lately after 1 year and even greet us into Tiana's Palace Mardi Gras party. I'm disappointed he's excluded from the ride. Put him in the ride now. Number 5. Two Fenner Brothers. Also in the movie were two Fenner brothers, Henry and Harvey Fenner, who ran the real estate business sign and was very rude to Tiana. I would have liked to see how they were doing after 1 year from the film. Put them in the ride now. Number 4. Reggie, Darnell, and Two Fingers. In one scene, it featured three hillbilly men going frog hunting for food, including Reggie, Darnell, and Two Fingers, who has a disability with his deformed right hand with two fingers. I'm surprised they left out a man who had a disability with his right hand deformed, which is very disrespectful to the special needs people. And also, I want to see how they are doing after 1 year from the film. I'm disappointed they're missing from the ride. Add them in now. Number 3. Lawrence. Where's the traitor Lawrence, Naveen's former royal valet, who was Dr. Facilier's sidekick in the Princess and the Frog film? Lawrence worked for Dr. Facilier and later on is placed under arrest and taken to Parsh prison. I would have liked to see Lawrence be on parole and wave to us guests in Tiana's palace. I'm very disappointed he's not featured in the ride, and I personally had to buy an action figure of Lawrence and film him on the ride because he was excluded from the ride. Add him in the ride now. Number 2. Three possums and a deer with other bayou animals. In the wedding finale of The Princess and the Frog, it showed three possums hanging on the tree branch, deer, bayou birds, and forest animals in the film. However, they're hardly shown in the ride. Add more critters now. And number 1, Dr. Facilier and Ray the Firefly Spirit and Friends on the Other Side song. Finally, where's my favorite all time Disney villain, Dr. Facilier? I'm sad he's missing from the ride. I wanted the spirit of Dr. Facilier to make a cameo appearance, along with the spooky shadow spirits, while Mama Odie and Ray the Firefly spirit fight them. Also, I wanted Dr. Facilier and the Shadow Spirits masked dolls singing Friends on the Other Side, chanting, Are you ready? At the drop off, which was the biggest letdown ever. As I feel this is the biggest mistake Disney Imagineers have ever made. The Dig a Little Deeper song doesn't even fit with the drop off, which is confusing. I had to bring my Funko Pop of Dr. Facilier and film him on the ride. This is the biggest disappointment ever. In conclusion, I hope Tiana's Bayou Adventure gets more animatronics added in the future. To close out my video, I would like to pay tribute to the April 1927 Mississippi River 500 flood victims and the Bath School, Michigan explosion 45 victims to remember them by. Unfortunately, I can't play a song Betsy Smith, Backwater Blues, due to copyright issues. If you want to listen to it or buy the MP3 song, I'll send an Amazon link. Here's the 1927 flood tribute pictures to close out the video.